Right, it's
My system down, so we got the backup.
January the 20th, and
Yep. Just as a FYI, before we call upon Nicholas Preston to give the invocation, just to let people know that technology issues are abound in City Hall. There's a gremlin again. So we have no live video stream, but hopefully the meeting is being recorded by PEG Access, and then with the wonders of the other pieces of technology, it will get uploaded to the city website. So if people get texts to say, it's not streaming live, that's why.
That's a good voice.
Nice voice.
With that, we will call upon Nicholas for the invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
We had the same problems at church on Sunday, so yeah, it happens.
Did somebody help intervene?
I don't know. No. All right, let's pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for your mercies and your kindness towards us. Thank you for a new year. And Lord, I pray for the peace and prosperity of Fergus Falls. Lord, I pray that decisions would be made with wisdom and discernment, Father, and that it would help bring about just the prosperity and the thriving of all the citizens. Lord, we continue to ask for your safety for all of the employees, law enforcement, everybody that helps make the city a wonderful place. Lord, I pray for new ideas and dreams for the future. And in the midst of all the chaos and craziness in this world, I just felt like I wanted to pray the Lord's Prayer tonight, because I think it sums up well. So let's pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptations, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So the next item is call to order. The next item is roll call.
Here.
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 Here. Here. Here.
We have a quorum. The next item is open forum. This is a time to address items that are of city business versus kind of an example of a landlord-tenant issue. And things that are not on this evening's agenda. With that, is anybody wish to come and speak to the council this evening?
Someone has to start, right?
Yep.
I'm Brooke Barsness. I'm from Fergus Falls, and I'm here tonight representing the Public Arts Commission. Thank you, Mayor, council members, and city staff for supporting the work of the Public Arts Commission. Bringing awareness about the arts is central to our mission, the Public Arts Commission mission. This evening, you may have noticed a change in the artworks displayed behind the seated council members. Once again, we are pleased to share work from the rotating collection at the Fergus Falls Public Library. To the south, the council's left, my right, no, that's wrong. To the south, council's left, my right, okay. We see a drawing of the Cadets Hotel by artist Scott Gunvaldson. Gunvaldson is a lifelong resident of Fergus Falls, a fine artist, a muralist, a graphic artist, which this is a fine example of something you might see from a graphic artist, a sign painter, and a musician. Perhaps Gunvaldson's most public works are his commissioned works, murals for the city of Fargo, the Fergus Falls Public Library, and the New York Mills Public Library. a former student of Charles Beck. Gunvaldson's paintings share Beck's love of the landscape, and they're extraordinary for his treatment of light and color. Not this. This is a drawing, a pen and ink drawing. This drawing of the Cadets Hotel is as it would have looked when it was built in downtown Fergus Falls in 1914. The building was scheduled for demolition in the early 1980s, and an annex was demolished at that time. In 1993, the Cadets was added to the National Register of Historic Places. Along with the Center for the Arts leadership, tireless preservationists partnered with ArtSpace in 2008-2009 to successfully complete a $2.5 million restoration, transforming the building to include 10 artist loft, live, work apartments, and to house the nonprofit organization Cadets Galleries. To the north, Council's right, my left, we see a photograph entitled Torn. It was taken by artist Eric Santwire in 2007. Santwire grew up in Detroit Lakes. He graduated from Minnesota State University, Moorhead. He lived and was a part of the art scene in Minneapolis for a time while practicing art in the mediums of filmmaking, photography, painting, writing, and music. Since moving to Fergus Falls in 2004, he has worked as a photographer, a painter, and a videographer editor. He also works as a gallery assistant at the Cadets Galleries, and he lives in the Cadets Loft Apartments. Santwire's work in film and painting have influenced the colors of this photograph. It's rather experimental, maybe a little surreal. It was taken of the Kirkbride building through a torn screen in one of two gazebos, which have since been removed from the grounds. The Kirkbride and grounds were purchased by the city in 2007, as you know, after being slated for demolition by the state of Minnesota in the early 2000s. The Kirkbride campus was listed in 1986 on the National Register of Historic Places. Artists Gunvaldson and Santwire live and work in Fergus Falls. This art depicts two of our historic landmarks, two of a dozen or so that are on the National Register of Historic Places in our community. Thank you for your time, your interest, and your support.
Thank you, Brooks. If there's no one else, then we will move on to approval of the agenda. Any new items that wish to be added, we should state what that item actually is, and I think our city administrator has 1/3.
Do I have three? I do.
Yep.
I have three. The first one is from the Fergus Falls Public Library accepting a grant in the amount of $2,500 to support the library's summer tutoring program from the
You want to just say 3 grants,
3 grants, yes.
and then we can put it on the agenda, and then you can talk about
I
it.
can talk about all of them later on.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
For efficiency.
Under new business, please.
Right, thank you.
I'll second that.
Would you like to make the motion to approve the agenda, Al?
Yeah, sure. I'll
Right.
make that motion.
Right, thank you, Al, with those additions. Would somebody care to second it?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Jim. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion is approved. There are no public hearings, there are no awards to bid, there are no petitions and communications. We are to the consent agenda. The first item is a motion approving the open and closed minutes from January 5th, 2026, City Council meetings. Motion approving licenses, a resolution appointing Jess Steinbrenner to serve as the Fergus Falls Public Library representative on the Viking Library System Governing Board, and a motion appointing Samantha Van Wisselmeyer to the Parks and Recreation Board. So would somebody care to make that resolution?
So moved.
Thank you, Scott. would
Second
somebody,
that.
Laurel, we'll give it to Laurel today. Roll call, please.
First, me?
Uh,
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. For your benefit, Councilman Rachel, she doesn't have a microphone. I can't hear it either. Yes, I'm here.
I was thinking of the Port Authority, so, yes.
Yes.
Resolution is approved. The next is a slate of resolutions regarding engineering tests. So I would believe that Team Moore will be handling most of this. So the first item is a resolution approving engineering task order number 11 for Channing and Springen 2027 mill and overlay projects in the amount of $180,000. So, Team Moore. Yep, and use the mic.
All right, is it on? Okay. First off, thank you for your time. Apologies that you don't get Kyle tonight, you get me. Yes, I would like to go through 6 resolutions here. I will go through one at a time in order here, and if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. So, task order number 11 is for the Channing and Springen STIP project, which is a federally funded project here that will go through both federal and state aid funding. So, I believe somebody reached out and asked a clarification on the project location. It is actually Channing from Cascade to Pebble Lake Road, for anybody that does not know where that was at. So it's Channing from Cascade to Pebble Lake Road, and then Springen from Mount Faith Avenue to Freiburg Avenue.
Very good.
Would you like me to go through all of these, or do you want me to go one at a time? I guess you let me know how you want to proceed with that.
I think these ones are all one resolution, so if you just want to list the 3 tasks,
Yep.
12 and 13.
I can certainly do that. Okay. Task number 12 and task number 13 are both the 2026 city seal coat and mill and overlay projects. As a part of the city budget, they put aside a certain dollar amount for those 2 projects. At this point, what we're asking for is approval of that resolution in order to first identify where those project areas are. At this point, we have not identified that, and so we'll be looking at a few different areas of where does it most make sense to perform these 2. To use the city's dollars appropriately, and then go through design, bidding, and then the construction phase of those.
And that's the same for task number 13.
Correct. Yep, sorry. Task number 12 would be the
Seal coating.
seal coat, and then 13 would be the mill and overlay. So that will be 2 separate projects.
Does anybody have any questions? This is kind of fairly... Oh, we should get a resolution on the table first. If somebody.
I'll offer the resolution.
Thank you, Jim.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Scott. Anybody have any questions for? It's Josh, isn't it?
Josiah.
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 Right.
Rosted.
If not, roll call, please. Oh, there was. Oh, Scott.
My question was on the seal coat and mill and overlay, dollar amounts of 20,000, 40,000 is just to what, how those numbers were arrived at. I know it's a budgeted amount. It's typically the same from year to year, but whether that was the case, if this is just the same number brought forward from last year's budget, or if there was some increase or decrease.
Is that something maybe I'll let Bill address?
Pipe in a little bit. I was looking that up, and I know, because this falls under your contract of how you would apply that 15% to the average of the bids, I believe. Our budget amounts, if I recall, the overlays, I think, are 350,000. I'm looking around at my tax levy committee as well. And I think the seal coats were 200,000. So you're looking at that, and that, falls within that range, so appears reasonable, so.
Yeah, and just to clarify on that, again, according to our contract, it will be 15% of the average bid, I believe, is how the contract reads. So these dollar values are in there based upon the budget amount, but it will adjust according to the actual bid.
Yeah, I don't know that I was concerned about your portion of it.
Okay.
I was just wondering where the top number came from.
For sure.
Whether it was just carried forward or increased or not.
So I suppose if there's 20 is the other kind of 330 spread on other projects?
The 20 what now?
Because like the seal coating, there's only 20,000, it says.
That's for their fee
Oh.
for doing the bidding, the construction management, the plans and all that. So yeah, that'll come out of the 200,000. The 40,000, was that the other one? Will come out of the 350. Now, when we go through and get our audit prep done and get the books closed out for the year, we'll let you know where we came out on the projects for 2025. And are we able to carry anything forward and maybe add on to a project? If not, we've typically done that in the past to maximize, those dollars for streets, so.
Right. Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
Explain to me your engineering task. This is just allowing
Yep.
you to move forward, get bids, define the territory, et cetera.
Correct. Yep. So at this point, and this is specifically for those two city the mill and overlay and the seal coat. Yes, we are asking to proceed with identifying the project location. Part of that is going to be finding an area where it's going to match the dollar amounts that are in the budget. And so we kind of adjust size of the project location to make sure that we can maximize the dollars that are in the budget. And then yes, proceed with laying out the project, getting it ready for publicly bidding, working through the contract piece of it, and then having an inspector on site, working through construction admin with pay applications, project closeout, stuff like that.
Let's take an extreme situation where this is unrelated to 11, 12, or 13. You're going to do
Mark, let's stick to 11,
Yeah,
12, and
but
13.
your engineering task order, let's say it was a $10 million project, you go through your first steps, and then we find out that we don't do it. What happens to your soft costs? Are they just booked?
I think that's not to do with this, Mark.
Okay.
The one that's on the docket is not a $10 million project.
I'm just
So,
using an example,
yeah,
so I'm
yeah,
not
I
beating
know,
up these
I
three.
know, but
That is something
I'll yield my floor.
I will note that down, and I'll have Kyle follow up on stuff like that. I can't answer the contract piece of it quite like that. So
I appreciate
let me
that.
note that
Thank you.
down.
Thank you.
sure.
I'm going to pipe in just a little. So in the past, let's say we've initiated a project, we start the engineering on it, and for some reason we don't go forward with it, after 6 months or something. We have always booked those projects to the cost, and we've carried them until the day we do the project. So let's say even if you get partially engineered and then we put a timeout on it, we would pay those costs, book them to that project, and then we'd hold them. And let's say we do that project here 2 years later, we make sure that's part of the total project, because our projects go over a number of years, so we're always accounting for project to date, not just certainly annually, but project to date, so that we know how we're funding that entire project. So typically, we are always kind of upfronting those engineering costs and booking them in the project until it gets built and we finance it, so.
All right. Thank you, Bill. That's
bet.
what I was looking for.
So with that roll call, are we doing just task 11 or yeah, and then we'll do, so just the first one is task 11, so roll call.
Yes.
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 So now we need somebody to nominate for the task order number 12, which would be the Sealco project.
I'll offer the resolution.
I'll
Thank-
second that.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Laura. Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 The resolution is approved. The next resolution is for the mill and overlay.
I can do that.
Thank you, Laurel.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Scott. Roll call.
Yes.
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 Yep.
Yep.
Yes.
Thank you. The resolution is approved. The next item is a resolution accepting the feasibility report for PI 5966, this Cavour Avenue Improvement Project, and calling for a public hearing on February 17, 2026 at 5:30.
I will address those, and maybe I'll do it in the same fashion as the previous ones. So we are asking for acceptance of the feasibility report for 3 projects, high level to cover all 3 of these. Previously, we asked for a motion to proceed with the feasibility report in accordance with Chapter 429. That's the bonding type that we're going for. So the second piece here, we're looking for acceptance of that, which then leads into the next process of setting the preliminary improvement hearing, where we invite, according to state law, we have to put 2 notices in the paper along with mailings to all affected residents to come to the council chambers, if they so please, to provide comment on the project. So what we've done is broken down an estimated cost to the best of our knowledge based on where we're at with the design, broken that down into our feasibility report, and during that preliminary hearing, we'll walk through what is our plan with the project, how did we come up with the costs, and ultimately walk through how did we come about the special assessment value based on city policy. Prior to that meeting, we're planning to hold kind of a neighborhood meeting for each of the projects. So on February 4th and 5th, this is something the council does not need to come to. I suppose without doing a quorum, you can't all come, but we are planning to send out invites to the same affected business owners for a meeting at that point, just to have more of an open house and walk through, here is each of the projects, walk through a little in depth and get their comments back on how do you guys feel about the project? Are there things that you would like to see, would not like to see, stuff like that.
Those dates again, please.
So the open house, we'll call it, is February 4th for Cavour and Douglas, and then February 5th for Cleveland. But then the official improvement hearing as part of the Chapter 429 process is February 17th at 5:30.
And the meetings on the 4th and 5th are here?
Correct.
And what time?
5:30 for Cavour on the 4th, 6:30 for Douglas on the 4th, and then on February 5th, the plan is to have Cleveland at 5:30.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I have a question on the Cavour one, if that's okay.
Yep.
I've already heard a little bit of rumblings about concern that assessment when it's such a highly publicly used road, and I'm guessing we're going to hear some of that on Cleveland too when it's with the school and things like that.
Yes.
How I mean, are you guys doing traffic counts to figure out what's fair on that, or how do we respond to that once these people start getting these notices?
Yeah. So high level, looking at the city's assessment policy, that's what we followed. It is very specific to traffic counts, street widths, and the improvements to that. So according to the city policy, the only thing they assess is actually, it says the street gets wider and the higher traffic counts, you get hit with less. And so those businesses, because it is such a highly trafficked area, they're going to get hit with an assessment, of course, but it's not going to be as high as they would think, I imagine. So yeah, we are very specifically looking at what is the total traffic count, and we broke it down by block even, just because down there it does vary a little bit. And then we also break it down by street width. And just to clarify, that's stuff that we'll walk through at those hearings as well, just so they're
Sometimes
aware
when
of.
those notices go out, then we get
You
texts
get-
or
yes.
right.
Yep.
Any other questions? If not, we need kind of the same again. We're going to have 3 resolutions. So would somebody care to make the first resolution for the feasibility for Cavour Avenue?
I'll offer that.
Thank you, Jim. Somebody care to second it?
I'll
Thank you,
second, Your Honor.
Scott. Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
The resolution is approved. The next resolution is for the feasibility report, PI 5964, the Cleveland Avenue improvement.
I'll offer that.
I'll make it.
So who was the other one this side?
1 and 2.
Scott Kwame and Al Krameyer. Whether you said it or not, you're getting nominated.
Tried to.
Thank you, Mayor.
It's a democracy. Roll call.
Yes.
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 The next, the resolution is approved. The next resolution is accepting the feasibility report for PI 5967, the Douglas Avenue improvement. So who would like to do that? Ladies and gentlemen.
I'll offer that.
Thank you, Laura.
I can second it.
That's it. Good to have both ladies do that. Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 The next item is presentation of claims, but where's the one about the truck?
The
That's
street
the next
sweeper.
page.
That's
on the
new.
back.
Oh, that's under. Okay,
Back page.
So, yeah, so presentation of claims first and then the sweeper.
I'll offer the resolution to pay the bills.
Thank you, Jim. Somebody care to second it?
Sure. I'll second it.
Thank you, Scott. Any questions? If not, roll call, please.
Yes.
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 There is no old or unfinished business. The next item is a resolution under new business authorizing the purchase of a street sweeper. And I think that would be Len/Guy Taylor.
Thank you, Your Honor. Tonight I'm seeking a resolution to surplus Unit 239, a global sweeper. It's been in service for a little over 8 years, and then authorization to purchase a new sweeper, a 2026 Odra mechanical sweeper. The mechanical type sweeper is important for use in the city. It's better able to pick up the heavy sand that we put down this time of year. So we've got two types of sweepers, this mechanical one and then a regenerative air sweeper, which is just a high-powered, diesel-powered vacuum, basically. But this sweeper, the mechanical sweeper, the Global's been in service, like I said, for a little over almost 8 years, I guess, 7+ years. It's got 3,800 hours and has had many repairs in that time. And some of those repairs have become quite costly. The purchase of a sweeper was actually planned for next year, but with the repairs that we've endured and the costs associated, we decided to bump out a front-end loader and move in this street sweeper for the 2026 round of equipment purchases. So Dan Gaines, our fleet coordinator, he arranged for demos of various types of sweepers, different models, and between Dan and the street department that demoed the others, it was determined that this unit was the most sufficient for our needs and the most practical price point. The purchase from the state contract is $262,093. There is an extended warranty that we could purchase for $11,554. That would bring the purchase price to $274,017, which is just below what was estimated for a sweeper purchase. We had estimated $275,000. Also, there is a lease to buy option for the sweeper. There is 3 different terms that they offer: a 5-year term at 5.05% interest, a final all-in cost of $311,880. $37,000 would be interest paid on that. 6-year term would be at 5.3 interest with the final all-in cost of $321,696. $47,239 would be paid in interest on that. And then a 7-year option too of 5.5% interest with the final all-in cost of $332,640. And then interest on that would be $58,183. At the end of each of those terms, if we were to go that route, we could purchase the sweeper then for $1. My recommendation now is, however, to just purchase the Odra sweeper outright for $262,093. And then we have that option of the $11,000 extended warranty if that would be something the council would like to go with. That would bring the purchase price to $274,457.
Your Honor.
So
How long is the warranty and how long is, what will the warranty cover? How many years, I should say? The original warranty and then the extended?
original warranty is a year. The extended warranty is 2 years.
Okay, so you're buying 1 year then. Okay.
2 additional
Buying
years?
2
or
additional
Oh,
years.
2 more, so it'll be
Additional.
3 years then, okay.
Yes.
So basically half of its life cycle with us would be covered then? Or a little less than half?
Yeah, if we can stretch it out, we'd like to go a little more, so.
What does the warranty cover though? I mean, and they turned around and said, well, it doesn't cover the gearbox or the parts that fail the most usually.
Standard warranty on the sweeper is 3 years on the chassis. And the additional 2 years is up to $125,000 on the, or 125,000 miles on the powertrain. We didn't get information on the auxiliary engine, but there's a Kubota engine that actually runs the sweeper portion, and we don't have information on a warranty for that. So this is just additional 2 years, so sorry, it's a 5-year total then. 3 years on the initial warranty, 2 years that we could purchase for up to 125,000 miles for that 11,554.
How many miles do you put on a sweeper in a year?
Not that many.
Not that many. I
That's
mean,
what I was
it
gonna
goes
say.
around in circles.
Yeah, pretty much.
It gets more miles than, or more hours than miles.
Yeah. I was going to say, and it's only got 3,800 hours on it.
Yeah, it's not
So
very
it's
many.
not many miles. So you'll never get to the
No.
powertrain warranty expiration. Age will get there first.
One other question, if that's okay. It says sweeper transport charge not included on the quote we got. So is there a little bit of money we have to spend to get it here too?
There would be. It's actually a unit that could be driven on the road, so we might opt to just go pick it up. It's in Grand Forks.
Oh, that's not bad.
No,
Is the old one going to Grand Forks?
it's yet to be determined. We're going to put that on GovDeals auction site and see where it ends up. Hopefully,
What do you think you
Far
can get
away.
for that one to offset this?
it's hard to say. Those global units, they're known to be problematic. Just tell you, we've had $116,000 in repair costs in that unit over 7+ years. So that's typically the history with those around the market.
But, Your Honor, the history came after we purchased it. Before, when you purchased it, it was a great deal, and then all of a sudden it turned into
Yeah.
a bad deal.
Reviews of the unit when we purchased it were good. But turned out, especially the most recent repair was replacement of the brakes last fall. Turned out parts weren't even available. They had to rob them off another unit somewhere, so parts are obsolete even.
Would somebody care to make a resolution?
All after that, Your Honor,
What, including the warranty?
including the warranty.
So we have
I'll
a,
second that.
Was there any thought about, is there any company that basically would do that for us, clean our streets, so we don't buy this thing?
There are contractors out there that would do that.
Has there been any look into that, what it would cost for basically hiring this out, and what it would be to hire out for, let's just take the 7 years, what this thing has been in service and what it's costed us, what the cost was on it. Are we money ahead outsourcing this?
That hasn't been looked at, to be honest.
I think we should look at that, just due to the fact that, if we don't have, it's hard to make a good decision without all the information.
We would lose some flexibility. If we did go to a contract sweeper, they would come in, do the city one time, and that would be it. Otherwise, we send our sweepers out frequently. If there's a car accident or gravel spilt on the road, whatever, we're out there doing it. So we'd lose that flexibility.
Do you also do it after storm? I've noticed just pattern, like if there's a bad storm, a lot of leaves on the ground, you guys are
Definitely.
out doing it then too with storms.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
I think I've also noticed that you'll do it in advance of special events like Lake Alice 100 bicycle race or the Lake Region Healthcare running races, those kinds of things to do those streets. It seems to me you've done those too.
Yeah, we do. Often for special events, we go ahead of them. You're right.
Mr. Taylor, I appreciate your information. I'd like to have a little clarification on the lease. If you lease it, does that include the warranty, or do we still have to maintain it?
We have to do the regular maintenance. Yeah,
Okay.
oil changes, filters, whatever. Yes.
Right. I'm trying to get is what's the difference in if we buy it versus, if you will, lease it? Do you have to buy the extended warranty along with that lease?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we do. That was included in those numbers that I gave you for those three different lease options.
Unfortunately, I'm not able to follow your numbers as well as you've got them written down, but I've analyzed this thing historically with the limited information I have, and I'm trying to figure out what it's actually costing us to own it versus lease it. I'm a proponent of the extended warranty, don't get me wrong, but I still don't have a real flavor of what this ownership costs are, even though we have a cost of funds. We were going to put our money into it versus, if you will, a lease. So I'm trying to compare the two, and I'd like to have that more information before I can support this. Thank you.
Any other questions? If not, roll call, please.
Yes.
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 No.
No.
It fails. Fails.
I'm just looking for the information guide, and I think we'll pull this together.
Are we allowed to bring back with more information so we can get a decision made on this, or what are the rules when it fails?
It can come back.
I can bring it back. We are at nearing the end of the quote that was given, so I might come back and say the quote has gone up a little bit. It may come down.
I don't think so.
Not likely.
The other thing too, it seems like we're always on the edge of the cliff. We got to make a decision right now, or we lose something. You know, that's a bad position, I think, to be in. I don't like that position, and that's why, you know, hey, if you can get the information for Mr. Layton, that's great. I just think that would be, it's easier to make a decision that way. But it always seems like we're down to the wire that we have to make a decision, and I don't think it's fair. I think we need more information. I would love to know, like Mr. Layton said, what is the cost of this thing, really, when you break it down per year, you know, where are we at with either the lease or owning it outright, or even with looking at outsourcing it. I'm just curious. That's
Well, the
I
lease
mean,
costs I went through, and it's a lease to buy, so it included the interest, which was
Right.
significant.
Your Honor. So that's why we get these things on Thursday. If you got a question, you call Guy, you call Andrew, and you ask these questions before we get here so you have your information. Don't sit here and say, well, we want more information when you had 3 or all weekend. I mean, you could look at it and figure that out. That's why we get it on Thursday, to answer these questions that you have so you can make a decision. So we'll bring it, I see you bringing it back, but pick up the phone and ask the question.
I like discussing with the whole group and not just a couple people.
But you just get your own information. I mean, that's fine.
You want
I didn't have any
complete
questions.
transparency on this.
There's no not covering anything up.
I'm not saying that, but I don't want it to be with a couple people that we're discussing this. I know that you've done that in the past, and I don't agree with it.
I did it today.
I think it would be fair to say that Mark did call Guy and ask the questions about lease and extended warranty, and which is why Guy presented it this evening. So, you know, the question that got asked prior to the meeting, you know, Guy brought that information to the meeting this evening.
Right.
Is that, I mean, but generally, I mean, any lease analysis that I've looked at on equipment, it's never, you end up upside down on it, because you end up with a machine that you've paid for forever on, and then it's not worth anything at the end. So
If this were a true lease, typical lease, but this is a lease to buy with a 5+% interest on the terms.
So,
Your Honor, I want to address Al. If you can't call Guy and ask him a question on Friday about this, and we got to wait and bombard him on tonight, that's wrong. They need to know what's going on. We have the opportunity to call him. I talked to him. I asked him about what's wrong with the other one, and he told me, and because a constituent asked me about it. And so I got it enlightened. I knew exactly what was going on when he was talking about it. Nothing else, anything else about it. So research it if you got a question. That's my opinion.
Okay, thank you. The next item on the agenda is a recommendation for the City Council to accept grant awards to, well, maybe I can let Andrew read them. We have 3 grant awards, one for the library, one for the fire department, and one for the park and recreational expenditures. So with that, we'll need 3 resolutions. Oh no, we can do them all as one resolution. Just one. So I'll let Andrew just go over the highlights of how much money it is and the uses.
Thank you, Your Honor. Members, appreciate the opportunity. The first one, as the mayor mentioned, is Fergus Falls Public Library $2,500 grant from the Floyd and Harriet Miller Endowment Fund. This is related to the summer tutoring program at the library, so we're asking that we accept this grant and then approve the related revenue and expenditure budget adjustments. The second one is for the Fergus Falls Police Department K-9 unit, looking at a $1,000 grant from the Inga Johnson Endowment Fund going towards public demonstration and training costs related to the K-9. And again, we're asking for the acceptance of the grant and the approval of the related budget adjustments. And then finally, also from the Inga Johnson Fund, a $1,750 donation to the Park and Rec Fund, accepting that grant and approving the budget adjustments. These dollars are typically used as scholarship funds for